This is one of my favorite views from a chair underneath my patio, and today I'm going to be attempting to build a pond filter. I've had this pond going for about 3 years or so, but this is the first year that I'm going to put any fish in it. And so again, I tried to tie in my fire pit to my pond. This is a raised pond. This is another one of my favorite spots to sit. I can sit here, look at the fire pit and the pond. But as far as the pond, this bottom section is a pre-formed tub, and then I've just kind of sort of used landscaping boulders and loose rock to build around it. My pump is at the bottom of this pre-formed tub, and then the hose is hidden and goes along the left side there up to the fall. Just a little man-made trough here with some rocks in the bottom. I probably need to do a better job of hiding some of the plastic liner. This upper area, again, we've just introduced goldfish. Surprise, my wife said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy some fish," and brought some goldfish home, which prompted me to say, okay, I think we need some filtration. This is the 4th of July 2013. The fish have been in for about a month. You see I have one measly little set of plants here. Those are lily pads that are just starting. I did come to find out that I bought a couple of other plants, and the goldfish just totally decimated those. So part of today too is I'm going to be moving these plants out as well. So where's the other one? The other one's right there. Just built a plant ledge and some shade for the goldfish out of whatever remaining rock that I had. Eventually maybe I'll put some more rock in the bottom of the pond. My spillway here is hidden again the best I can. I need to do a little better job of hiding some of that liner. Again, the pond has been up for about 3 years or so. Been going since about May of this year, so we shut it down in the winter. Actually, I had a leak, and so I had to kind of redo the liner. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. And as far as the liner is concerned, or rather the filter, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the filter, I'm gonna dig this rock up and put a filter here and let it spill over to here. Again, it's just simply closer to my electricity, and I think this is a spot that I want to do that. The reason I'm not going to tie it into my existing fall, everything is flowing pretty nicely, and I don't really want to have to worry about messing that up. And as far as the materials, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'm going to make it out of a 10-gallon trash can, and you'll be seeing hopefully how I go about doing this. Some 3/4 inch inside diameter hose. I found a real good deal on a pump, 620 gallons per hour. I hope that's enough, and I found that for $39 today. I probably overbought some fittings. I saved my receipts. I'll take back what I don't need. 1 stick of PVC, some PVC glue I had on hand. And this is going to be used, this is a little bit bigger size hose. This is for the outflow of the filter. I read that your inflow, if it's 3/4 inch, your outflow should be twice the size. So this is 1.5 inch hose. My filtration stuff is again just what everybody else was doing on YouTube. I had this laying around, some whatever that's called. These are just scrub pads from the dollar store. They only had 1 pack of these. I'm gonna have to go back and get some more of these. Again, just little scrubbies. This was an interesting hint. This came from the dollar store, one of those noodles, swim noodles. It was 99 cents, and what was suggested is just taking a knife or scissors and cutting those in, so I'll continue to do that as well. So what I'm going to do is get started. Okay, here's the concept. This bucket will serve as the main filter, and again, just from reading, this is just a simple little basket, 2 for $1 at the dollar store. I think I paid about $6 for this trash can, and I believe, let's see, it's a 10-gallon wastebasket. And so what I was reading and what I understood is that you want to bring water into the top of the tub and then use some PVC pipe to get it down to the bottom of the tub. That way all the muck and the stuff will settle on the bottom. The basket, I think, provides the protection from the filtration, so the muck will live below the basket. You run your PVC pipe through the top of this basket, and then you stack all of again, your filtration stuff over there on the end, your pads and your scrub pads and everything. You kind of stack that up here, and then once your water comes in here, you also put some of these, exit holes right here. And so water comes in, flows to the bottom, comes up through the pads, and then out through the escape hole, and you can just let that drain right into the pond, hook it to a hose, disguise it with rock or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and drill the entry point for where the pump is going to bring the water in towards the top here. I've got a step bit here on the drill. I don't know if I had the exact right size for my little intake here, so I may have to kind of work with that a little bit and ream out the hole just a little bit to get it to fit. But basically I'm going to put it here pretty close to the top of the bucket and just go ahead and drill. So I've just got a little bit of work to do to make that fit, and I'll show you the finished product in just a second. Okay, so I've got my, looks like I've got my bushing in there. I don't have the inside nut screwed on yet, but my hole wasn't perfect, but again, I got it in there. The nut will tighten it. And again, what I'm using here is I'm going to have to put, just one small adapter piece on here because I'm using a 3/4 inch hose. And so it'll look like this, I think, once I put my adapter on. So we'll screw that adapter on there, and there's a hose barb there, and that will allow my 3/4 inch hose, that I've got right here. So that'll allow that to go straight onto that barb, and then plenty of hose to reach the pump in the bottom of the pond. Obviously, whatever size hose your pump recommends, that's kind of what you're trying to do to outfit this right here. I just happen to be using 3/4 inch for my intake. So I'm going to get this all firmed up, and then I've got one other little adapter after I put this nut on, because what we'll do is we'll make a PVC elbow that brings the water all the way down underneath the basket, and we'll distribute the water so it circles and it will rise to the top. And then I haven't quite decided if I'm going to put my outflow here and here maybe, or possibly over here. We'll walk over to the pond and see exactly how this tub's going to be placed to determine where I want my outflow. Okay, so I've got my little hole drilled and everything tightened, and it looks like you can see real nicely that that's a nice seal. Comes with a washer. I think it's called a bushing or something like that, a housing, and a nice nut. It looks like everything's nice and snug without any gaps. I did see where a couple of guys, they tried to maybe save $1 or $2, and I'm sure they were very successful, but this is like about $1 fitting or so, and they would have done this. And then I think they had to use something like this, like a rigid, then you go over to the electrical part and get like some metal washers and the such. And then I think you put on one of these plastics, but it doesn't waterproof it. And so I saw these guys putting a bunch of black goo and PVC, what am I trying to say? PVC glue and stuff like that around it. I didn't want to have to mess with all that, so I paid a little bit more. I want to say this was $3 or $4 from the farm store, hardware store, but it is made to do exactly what we're talking about, to pass water through without any leaks. So now I am ready to get the water, the PVC, to head into the bottom of the tub. And so I'm just going to I bought a 5-foot piece of 1/2 inch PVC. I'm going to have to put a little adapter on there, of course. So I'm just going to kind of measure to say, okay, it looks like I need to cut my PVC right at about here where my thumb is, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my PVC and then put an elbow on there. And I'm going to go ahead and dry cut everything and arrange it, and then come back and show you all these parts and pieces.